Good morning, good morning. Just let me make sure this is working on my phone. Hello, just testing out the microphone to see if this is working. If you're joining us, welcome, welcome on this early Sunday morning. Looks like it's working on my phone. Yay. And I do apologise. Hang on, I'm just going to put that microphone up a tiny bit. There we go. I do apologise if there's a bit of noise in the background. Some lovely neighbour of mine decided to mow their lawn about 9:30. I thought hopefully they'll be finished by 10. They're just finishing up apparently. I don't know. Just let me set this up on my phone so I can see what we are doing. If you are joining me this morning, pop a hello in the comments so I know I'm not sitting here talking to myself, but that's okay. It's a bit early this morning on a Sunday. You're all probably sleeping in. Come on, phone, sit. Really? It'll be one of those days, I think. Okay, we'll just sit you against there. So welcome to my second class of the weekend. I was going to do another one yesterday, but wow, you girls filled my inbox with orders, and I was running around filling orders all day yesterday, and I've still got some more to do today. So we are releasing our new release this weekend, so we've got lots of new products on the website, and we have a 20% off all stock sale until the end of the week, until the end of the month, and the end of the week. So everything's on sale until the 30th of November. There are 2 exclusions. Our advent calendar isn't online. Yes, Melinda decided to design an advent calendar for work this year, and a couple of weeks ago I was in advent pain wrapping everything up for all the orders. Sounded like a good idea at the time. And I've got some more wrapping due this week. Actually, we've sold some more. And gift vouchers aren't on sale, but everything else, including all the new stock, is on sale. It's an automatic discount at the checkout. No need to worry about codes or anything like that. I find putting out codes for discounts is a bit annoying because then sometimes the code doesn't work. You've got to find the code. So I just put automatic discounts on. So grab yourself a bargain or 2 before the sale finishes at the end of the week. So I thought I'd play with some new items today. Again, I had an idea in mind yesterday. I pulled some product and I've totally changed my mind in the last 10 minutes. Yep, I'm a bit like that. I will totally change my mind on doing things in the last minute, which is always fun. That's right. So a few of our new products, and I apologise about the glare. Got one of our quotes again. I'm not sure what size I'm going to use. Eat, sleep, art, repeat. So I did lots of quotes this time. Some snarky ones, some good ones. Pulled a couple of napkins because starting with the napkins easy because you can pick your colours out. I think they're now mowing right on my property line. Yay. So I picked out this butterfly napkin with these drips, so I'm going to enhance the drips somehow. And this one sort of went with the colours. It's going to work. Pulled out one of our new stencils as well. This one's been used before. But it's got sort of this sort of pattern on it, then a damask pattern. So this is the 12-inch version. It does come in the 8-inch version, which possibly would have been better, but I didn't have one cut, so we're going to use this one. And I have paints and inks and all things around me to create with. So I think we'll start by putting the napkins down. So I'm working in a Delusions. Yes, this one is actually a Delusions brand. Shock horror. Mel actually bought a proper art journal. So this is an actual Delusions art journal. So all I've done is, what have I done? I've just gessoed my page. I know the paper in here is really nice, but I still like gessoing my page. It's just a habit I've got into. Let's get my mouse out of here somewhere away. So I do like to gesso the page. Now the idea, excuse me, the idea I've got, maybe, something's floating around in my head, dangerous place to be, floating around in my head, is to do something across sort of the middle third of the page, middle 2/3 of the page, and leave like white on the top corners, maybe, and have the butterfly sort of here, and I don't know. Got something ticking over in my brain. We'll just start and see where the page takes us. So what napkin am I going to stick down first? Do I want to stick my butterfly down? Or do I want to stick some flower? Let's stick the butterfly down. Let's just go for it. So these lives on Facebook are always recorded. So if you can't catch it live, you can catch it on a replay. I know Sunday morning is not a best time, but hey, it worked for me in my busy schedule. So I had to get up extra early this morning to get everything ready. That's all right. So when you purchase napkins off Alexis from our website, you purchase them in a pack of 2. So this particular butterfly, when the napkin is opened up, most napkins are square design, 99% on the website are, and you get 4 images per napkin. So when you purchase them, you're actually getting 8 images, which we sell them in packs of 2 because I say 1 to goof up and 1 to use, because sometimes you goof things up. But you've got plenty to share with friends, and this would make a gorgeous card too. So I've just cut the napkin into a quarter just to make it easier to play with. I'm going to remove the white backing. So all napkins have a printed layer, and then they have 1 or 2 white layers. Now yesterday's napkins just fell apart, and this one's going to be stubborn. So if your napkins are stubborn, grab some just regular clear tape. This one has a purple tinge to it, but it's regular clear tape. We are going to, you could use washi tape too, put a little bit of tape half overlapping the white side of the napkin and half overlapping off the napkin. Then you can turn it over and the bit of sticky tape will grab onto the white napkin, and look, it'll just peel straight off. Throw that bit out. You can keep them. I've got oodles of them from all my projects, so I don't need to keep any of those. I'm just going to grab, what am I going to grab? I need something with text on it. What have I got? I've got a bottle of gel medium. So to test if your napkin has more layers on it, pop it over something and you should be able to almost see through to the text below. I think this has only got, I don't think this has got another layer on it. I'm going to test with another bit of sticky tape. Just going to put it in the white area. And I don't think, no, it doesn't. It's all right. I'm going to tear the bit of sticky tape off. I'm not going to use that bit of the napkin anyway. Okay, so we've got our napkin separated. The reason we separate our napkins is A, they go a bit more translucent on our page, and B, if you glue the napkin down, only the base layer will glue down. Now I'm going to use the water tearing technique again like I did yesterday, just to get some of this excess white away. It will disappear on my page, but I just don't want all this excess white. So anything white on the napkin will sort of blend into your white page and disappear. So all I'm doing is wetting my paintbrush, not having it too soppy wet, tracing around. You can sort of see the change in colour, holding the piece I want and gently pulling away. Now if you flood it too much with water, you're going to get into a whole lot of trouble. And what I also want to do is take away the hard cut edge. So water tearing your napkins actually gives them a fuzzy edge, and they sort of blend into the page a bit better than a straight edge, if that makes sense. Very excited about our advent calendar this year. I'm planning to do a daily opening, which will be fun. So the day after the advent calendar comes out, so on day 1 you won't see anything. Day 2 you'll see day 1 opening. That'll be fun. And then I'm planning 4 projects using what's in the advent calendar. And I so wanted to use something today. It would have been perfect. But alas, I have to wait. I will not spoil the surprise. So the advent calendar is all new stock, never seen on our website before. And it will be available in single items in January when I get a chance to upload. So I'm planning 4 videos or / lives over the December period. Just depends on how life goes. December is an uber busy time, using the stuff in the advent calendar, so that will be loads of fun. So I'll either pre-film a video or I will jump on live at some stage. I'm planning on after the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and then the end of the Advent calendar. So that's the plan. Let's see if my plan comes to fruition. That would be good. So there's my napkin. Doesn't matter how messy it is because it's going to fade into the background. Now I was tossing up whether to put paint down first or put my napkin down first, but I want my napkin to be bright white, so I want it to go down first. Best thing to glue napkins down with, and if you've seen any of my lives, I use bucket loads of this stuff. So I'm always moving up too high. Acrylic matte medium now is quite liquidy, so you want something that is quite liquidy and flowy to stick your napkins down with. God, they're still mowing. How big a front yard do you have, peoples? So I've just put some in a little Vegemite jar. It's a bit easier to dip my paintbrush in than squirt it all over the place. So this works with napkins, works with collage paper, tissue paper, all sorts of stuff like that from all other companies as well. Just noticed I've got a lot of goop on the top of my jar. Let's get rid of that. So I'm going to put a generous amount where my napkin is going to go. This dries clear, so don't worry about going outside where your napkin's going to go. Just be aware this does come in gloss and matte. You are looking for the matte version, unless you want it to be glossy. Now, I'm going to put this here. When you drop your napkin into your glue, do not attempt to move it because the napkin becomes very wet and very fragile. So now I'm just dipping my paintbrush into my matte medium and going from the center out. I'm not going over and over the same spot multiple times. I am trying to only go over it once, maybe twice. And sealing the top of the napkin will put a barrier on top of it, so if I have an oopsie later with paint or ink, I can wipe it off. Now I'm just going to put my paintbrush in a baby wipe. We're going to use it again. My lid on my matte medium. I'm going to take our other napkin and I'm going to add a few accent flowers. So because the flowers are so intricate, I'm going to cut them out, I think, instead of tearing them, because they are a bit more delicate to tear. I'm just going to quickly fussy cut the napkin out. Again, if you're cutting the napkin with scissors like I'm doing, it's best to leave the white layer on it until after you've done cutting, because it gives your scissors a bit more grip than just cutting a single napkin, because they are quite fragile when you take the one layer. Sorry if I'm going out of screen. I'm trying to fussy cut. Okay. So I might put this one down here. I'm sort of wanting to have this through the middle of the page and have white sort of here and here. Yes, very unheard of me having white space, but there's always a first for anything, isn't there? Now, what other bits do we have on this napkin? So this napkin's a bit more special. It has, is it overall? Is it joined? Oh, it is. It's sort of more of an overall pattern than a 4/4 pattern, which is nice. I'm just looking for another chunk to, actually, I like this bit here. Another chunky bit to put on my page. So we'll get our napkins down first. Do I always stick napkins down first? No. Sometimes if they're going to be an overall focal point, I will leave them till last. It just depends on what look I'm going for. You want your napkin to be the bright, whitest and the most intense colour. Stick it on a white background and then sort of move your paint and ink in and around it and things. If you want it to be more dull, stick it over some paint. So your napkins are very translucent when they're stuck on, so you just got to be a bit careful of what colours you've got on your page. Okay. this bit down a bit. So I'm going to take advantage of the napkins that have got the square corners on and place them in the corners, which is really cool. And then I'm going to sort of trim off the bit of the straight edge and position this sort of in here a bit. So let's get those bits stuck down. So these ones still have the white backing on them. So we're going to grab some more of that sticky tape down and put it somewhere. And take the napkins off, the napkin backing off. So just sticking sticky tape half on, come on stubborn napkin. Some of the napkins can be quite stubborn. Some of them, oh, does it not have a white backing on it? It has to, yes it does. It's just being stubborn. Some napkins can be quite stubborn, some just fall apart. I tend to use a new piece of sticky tape every time because when you tear the sticky tape off, it is filled with fluff from the napkin. And this napkin is particularly fun. So what I'm actually doing is I can't separate the layers, so I'm just pulling the sticky tape away and it's pulling the white backing off, so then I can get a start and take the napkin apart. Yesterday they were just falling straight off. I'm just being careful not to put that napkin in that wet glue from my butterfly until I'm ready to stick them down. So the sticky tape technique is great for little pieces of napkin you've cut out. There we go. Once you get a little bit started, you can pull it really, really easily. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. That's going to be the word of the day. Now, let's get this napkin out of here. So I've got loads of napkins to use on other projects. I've got a box next to me. I'm trying to keep a few things off my desk. Oops, I think I just touched my mouse. Give me 1 second. I always have interesting trouble of where to put my mouse when I'm doing stuff like this. Because I need it, but I don't need it to be hit like I just got hit. Okay, that's another bit of napkin. So let's glue these ones down and then we'll start with some paint. So I've just got some baking paper behind my page just so I don't paint or ink or slop matte medium on my other pages. Now I'm sort of going to deliberately just overlap it a little, and I can always come back and trim it off later. Saves trying to get it exactly flush with your page. There we go. Don't breathe when you've got pieces of napkin all over your page because they just tend to fly everywhere. And don't sneeze because you'll have napkin everywhere. I like having my matte medium in a jar because I can just dip my paintbrush in as opposed to the squirtiness of the bottle. So I just keep the little Vegemite jars. Alexis eats that much Vegemite, it's not funny. So I have the little jars that... Where's this little bit going to go? I don't think I want to use it now. Or do I? Because I was going to put it under there, but now I've stuck that bit down. I don't like leaving little bits of napkins hanging around. I'm going to cut that in half. Because they never get used or get lost. So I've got little bits. I usually try to stick it on my layout somewhere. I'm just going to cut that bit in half. I'm going to stick a little bit up here just to extend this. So the napkins, you can sort of build your own scene with them, which is really cool. Because when you stick them down, especially if they've got white backings, you can't really see where one bit of the napkin started and one bit stopped. Which is rather cool. I'm going to stick a little bit down here. So you can sort of cut your napkin apart into lots of little bits and pieces and then like piece it all together in a way you'd like it pieced together, and it looks really cool. So now I'm just going to give that a bit of a dry, and I do apologise, I have to use my noisy heat tool because my other one broke last night. Seriously, if something else breaks electrical in my house, I am going to scream. I have had the worst luck this year with just electrical stuff breaking. It's getting to the point where it's not funny anymore because it's costing me a fortune. Sorry about the noise. I will have to order three more of my good heat tools because I want to use them at my events. And they're a lot quieter and not as much heat. So you can see I'm just keep putting my hand across it, and if it feels really cold, it's still a bit damp, but mainly I wanted the butterfly to be dry. So this bit's is still tacky up there, but that's cool. We can go forward and work on our next bit. I'm just going to move my journal over a little, but still stay in frame because I want to use this as my paint palette. And we are going to extend our paint down and up so our pieces match. So I've grabbed some paint colours trying to match the colours that are in napkin and the flowers. I've also got these ones. So I often don't care what brands of paint I'm using together. These are all acrylic paint. So I've got Dina Wakley, Delusions, Art by Marlene, and a Ultra Matte from Urban Crafter. So I tend to look at my paint colours as opposed to my paint brands. They will all work perfectly together. So I'm wanting to elongate these sort of droopy things, but I want to put a bit of colour in the background first. So I'm tending to start with my lightest colour, which will be, I think I'm going to start with this one, which is Rose Quartz from Delusions. Oh, it sounds like it's getting quite empty. So I'm just going to grab another baby wipe. My fingers are all sticky from the matte medium. Come on, baby wipes. My hands are usually covered by the time I finish an art journal page. Just going to stick them up there. Okay. I might have to grab some of this out with a paintbrush. We'll see. A lot of my paints are getting very low and I need to do some restocking. I need to go do some shopping. What a shame. Paint's very bubbly. Tells me there's not much left in there. That's right. What I want to do is just grab some with my finger and start extending. That was a good colour match. start extending from the napkin. So I'm coming up and over the napkin a little and blending it in. So I don't want the napkin and the paint to be have like a start and a stop line. I want it to be all sort of merged together. So the advantage of putting the matte medium over the top of the napkin is now when I bring the paint in, if I make an oopsie and bring it too far in, I can always wipe it back. If I don't put the layer on top, I won't have that advantage. So when I've got fine things like this up here, I tend to just rub the paint over the top and then I can sort of rub off the napkin bits. I can also take a baby wipe to sort of smooth out edges and blend it. If you don't want to blend it with your fingers, I love blending things with my fingers. It's just so much fun. So I love using napkins because it makes, or it gives you a jumping off point with your colours. If I just start using stencils and don't have sort of something colourful to go on my page, I sometimes don't know what colours will go or what colours to pick. So that's why I like using napkins, because they give you a nice colour base to start with. So what I'm wanting to do is connect all of my images, so the top right, the middle and the bottom left. But I'm not wanting to have a harsh line where my paint starts and stops. I sort of want it to fade in and fade out, if that makes sense. So sometimes when you're putting paint over the matte medium, it will look a little different, but that's okay. It'll all blend in. We've got stamping and stenciling to go on top of this. This is only our first base layer. Now I want to bring it down and pull this flower into over here. The reason I also like gessoing my page is your top colour sort of slides on a lot better than if you've just got raw paper. If you've got raw paper, your coloured paint tends to soak into the paper. You've put gesso on your page, the gesso is already soaked into the paper and created like a waterproof barrier. So your paint then sort of sits on top, which is really cool. So when I'm happy with that amount of colour, I'm going to stop and pick another colour. I can just see the edge of the napkin there, so I'm just trying to blend that out a bit more so it's not so prevalent. And I don't mind that it's looking a bit scratchy at the moment. That's only the first layer. Okay. Now I'm just going to pick up that paint because inevitably I'm going to put my hand or something in it. Okie dokie. Good start. Give it a quick blast with the heat tool. It's a very thin layer of paint, so it's almost probably dry. Okay. Now I don't want to bring much of this bluey purpley colour in. I'll only do that as an accent because there's a lot of that in the page. So I'm still going to work in the pinkish family to accent that colour. So I've got magenta, or I've got rouge, or I've got orchid, but I think orchid comes out a lot darker. It's deceiving. Okay, let's go. Let's go in with a bit of magenta in a few spots. And I think my magenta is nearly empty. Oh, no, there's plenty in the lid. It's amazing when your paint bottles feel empty, but You open the top of them, or you cut them open, and there is loads of paint in there. So I sort of want to bring this in a bit closer to the napkin to add a bit of shadowing. I'm just going to what that's going to do is make these other colours pop out. Just using a paintbrush because I want to be a bit more controlled than my finger at the moment. So don't hesitate to work up and over your napkin as well. Your napkin is a starting point. You can add other colours over the top of it. You can go and intensify the colours. You can go and draw over the top of the butterfly. You can do whatever you like. It is your work page. I'm sort of wanting to bring a bit more of this darkness down. Then I'm going to do some drips somehow. I'm going to bring some of this darkness down to here. And because your paints are sort of translucent, they're not completely opaque, you're sort of putting a glaze or a wash over the napkin. You're not totally obliterating it. Just be careful that your napkin's completely dry, because if you start painting over and it's a little wet, you can cause some issues. See how that darker colours just making that napkin pop a bit more, the colours in it. To bring a bit more of that darkness out here. I do realise I'm covering up a lot of the pink paint I put down first, but I don't really know where my second colour's going, so I'm just having fun along the way. And stopping when I think I am ready to stop. What is that? On my page, it's a bit of a napkin. Okay. Just want to pull a little bit more into here. A little bit more into here, just to create that shadow-ness. So just putting it on with the brush and blending it out, and I just want to put a little bit up here. This is just creating that shadow and making the images pop a bit more. We have got some stenciling to go over this, probably some stamping, so we've got lots of layers to come. So if it's looking a bit ugly, that's okay. It's part of the process. Okie dokie. That's going to be the word of the day. Let's put the lid back on that. Give that a quick little dry. So as you can tell, when I'm drying my papers, I actually pick my pages up. It dries a lot quicker when you pick them up and they're not flat to your page, because the heat penetrates the back of the paper as well. And then you can give it a bit of a dry on the back if you want to make it go a bit quicker. Okay, where's that lid? Let's put that lid on that paint. Let's get those paints out of here for now. Okay, now I think I want to bring in some stenciling. And where's that stencil I chose? So I want to add some really soft details with these big damask like figures. So do I want to do reverse stenciling, or do I want to go in with a very light white? I think I'm going to stencil through. This would work really well as reverse stenciling because it's really holy, but the damasks have a lot of stencil between them, so it's not as good for that technique. So we're going to go grab some white gesso because I didn't grab white paint, but it'll work. Oh, hi Desiree, how you going? I know I'm a bit early on a Sunday morning, but the time worked for me. Okay, going to grab a makeup sponge that I had from yesterday. Got a tiny little one. And we're going to do some stenciling in that pink, just to tone it down a bit. Just going to grab out some white gesso. Only need a tiny little bit. You could use white paint. I just didn't grab white paint. And just beyond the screen here, I have all my... Sorry, my microphone's getting in the shot. I have all my... so just above there, I have a box of all my gessos and gel mediums and all the things I use on every page. So it's really easy to grab. Now, I'm going to start up here. So I want to dab my sponge in and dab it off. So I work that paint into the sponge. I don't want to go straight from my paint to my page because I want it to be quite subtle. And just an up and down motion. And I'm going to go up over the napkin, the flower napkins, but stay away from my butterfly. Let's see if that worked. That's very light. That's not what I want. Let's see if I can get that a bit darker. We might have to go in with an off-white. Okay, we'll try that again. I want it subtle, but not that subtle. That's a bit better. You might not, I've just done the bit up here, you might not be able to see it real well on camera, but it is there. If it's not showing up as well, I might change to a different colour. Or tint my white to make it a different colour. Let's see how this is working out. Oh yeah, this one shows up a bit better. So I'm just going to put some... And I want it to be subtle. I don't want it to be very bright at all. So I'm just picking out one of these little damasky things. And, oh, that one you can just see. Okay, maybe we do this with ink instead, with a bit of pink ink. Okay, we'll do another one down here, and then I'm going to layer up with some pink ink and see if that stands out a bit more. You can sort of see it, but it's a bit more subtle than I wanted. Me do subtle? Never. Okay, change idea. Let's change to some ink. Get rid of that gesso, because I will put my hand in that in a minute, and that will be a disaster. I already had pink paint up half my arm from yesterday. Okay, so I'm just going to... change direction. White is not working. Let's go in with a light pink ink, and it should look... It should work a bit better. Let me just clean off. Clean off the stencil a bit. Let me dry that. It's almost dry anyway. Okay. New plan. Ink. Blending brush. I think I want to go a bit darker. I want it to be lighter, but let's see what happens. Because these inks work out really light anyway. I'm just going to test my blending brush to make sure it's not got a yucky colour in it. It's all good. Okay. Let's try this up here. I'm not going to be able to exactly match it up, but oh, this might be giving us a better look. Oh, I like that a whole lot better. Okay. The ink works better than the white paint. Yes, even I stuff things up. I think it's going to work and then it doesn't. So the blending brushes work really well on stencils that are this fine detail because they are... Oh yeah, I'm loving that. They get into all the little nooks and crannies. So I'm stenciling up and over the napkin, but I'm avoiding the butterfly. I think I do like that. I do like that a bit better. a great thing about art journaling. If it doesn't quite work out, keep going, keep throwing stuff at your page. If you get to the end of it and particularly don't like it, what have you wasted? You've only wasted a bit of ink and a bit of paper, a bit of your time. I even have disasters, and I've been art journaling for many, many, many years. Ooh, I like how that's coming together. Now, knowing when to stop is hard. I'm actually bringing some of it into the white area as well, which I like. And I'm going to bring some of this gritty look into, I want a little bit over here. Okay. Now, I think I want to swap to the lighter pink and do some of this grid area. Oh, this is looking nice. Oops. Okay. Just going to wipe this on a baby wipe. Going from the dark pink to the light pink, you're really not going to contaminate your ink pads. These brushes hold such a little amount of ink. It's, if you're going from like a yellow to a black, or black yellow to a black, black to a yellow, like a darker colour to a lighter colour, I would clean it a bit better. Now, I want to be really soft with this, so I'm barely touching the page. Oh, and just bringing a bit of pattern out into that white. So I can always go back and do it a bit harder, but it is really hard. Just done these bits here. Really hard to go and take it off. This will soften the hard colour and sort of make it more fade into the white. This is one of our new stencils. It does come in an 8x8 size as well, which is really cool, but I didn't have any of those cut, so I had to grab my 12-inch one. It's probably a bit dark here, but that's cool. I want to put a bit of damask just here. And knowing when to stop and walk away, I'm loving how that is coming together. It's starting to come there. Just wondering. Then again, I'm going to put a title here or here. I think I'm going to stick my title in here. So let's have a bit of a play with that before we do any more stenciling. So I've got one of our new titles, Eat, Sleep, Art, Repeat. And again, I think I'm going to go with the... I was going to say big one, but now I don't know. Let's pull the little one out. So these titles are cut from BRD mixed media cardstock, so we can ink them and paint them and do all sorts of fun stuff with them. I think the little one gets lost, so we will have to go, yeah, definitely the big one. And I'm going to overlap it onto the flowers over here. That is the plan. So often I make frames in 2 different sizes because everyone art journals. I prefer bigger art journals. You'll see me mostly work in my Big Delusions art journal because I like doing bigger stuff. Just, I don't know, I struggle on smaller areas. Let's decide what colour we're going to do that. I think we're going to bring this purpley colour into it. And I think it's going to be this colour. This is Periwinkle Blue. Let's be smart and do what we did yesterday and do a test piece on the back. Because I want it to stand out, but I don't want it to stand out too much. Does that make sense? Because we might even mix a bit of white. I think this one is nearly empty. So I'm going to take the top off and stick my paintbrush down in there. So I was hoping to get we've got a bit of a new Christmassy range out in our new release. I was hoping to get some Christmassy stuff done today, but I might have to jump on sometime in the middle of the week and play with our Christmas stuff before the 1st of December, before it's just Advent calendar time. So I'm just going to paint a little bit on the back. So these shapes, obviously the words aren't, but any of the white shapes are reversible, so you can have things going whatever direction you like. Obviously the words aren't reversible, but any of our shapes are. Oh, I think I like that colour. Okay. Look at me experimenting with colours before I just jump in and go, it'll be right. Actually, I should be doing this with a... No, should be doing this with a sponge. Let's put some paint out, and then I'll do this with a sponge. Is this one of the Periwinkle Blue? I find the Art Delusions paints a bit more translucent than other paints. They're not as dark and sort of opaque, which sometimes works in your favour. Looks like I'm going to put this one on my restock list. I like this colour. Sort of a bluey purple. So all the products I'm using today are available. They're up live on the website, so you can grab them if you want to have a play along and have a play along with this class. Love to see if you create anything inspired by my lives, or need just the tiniest bit more. Can I get off the paintbrush? I can get off the paintbrush. What I do after a live is I will take a photo of the completed page and I will put it up on my Facebook page, and then what I do is I link all the products I've used that I sell underneath it. But if you are having trouble finding stuff, you can just email me and I can send you the links. Or if you go, right, I want everything to do this page, I want the 2 napkins, I want the stencil, I want the word, anything else we throw at it in a minute, I can put a kit together for you. So I have ladies often do that. They go, I want to reproduce this, please put a kit together, and then we can certainly do that for you. And you can always change the colours and to what suits you at home. Go through your stash. I'm sure most of you have basic paints and inks. Really loving how that butterfly is just standing out. Maybe we move him down here a bit. Okay. Now I'm seeing that, I'm thinking it's too big. Or do I cut it and make it work in a different way? This is my focal point, and this is standing out a bit too much, but that one's too little. Of course, something would be too small, unless I go eat, sleep, art, and then put repeat down there. What would that look like? So if I put eat, sleep, and then cut repeat off and put repeat down here, I think I'm going to do that because it looks too much all in one big lot. So a lot of the quotes you can actually cut into smaller pieces. And I'm just going to round this A after I've cut it off. And unless you looked really closely, you can't really tell that a bit of the A and a bit of the art has come off. Ooh, I think I like that a bit better. It's broken up that the blockiness of it. Unless I do eat, sleep, art, repeat down. Let's just totally chop it up and totally change my mind. So even though you buy, oh, that A is going to be a bit interesting to get off. Okay. If I do that. Most of the letters can be cut apart and they don't look like they've been cut apart, if that makes sense. They're not, you lose a little bit of the letter, but they still look. While we're at it, let's just cut the whole darn thing apart, Melinda. Eat, sleep. Oh, I think I like that better. Broken up a bit. Because I think it was just looking too blocky where it was. Unless I go... No, I don't want to cross the middle of... I don't want to cross the middle of my journal because it's thicker cardstock. Okie dokie. Stop procrastinating. We're on a live. We can't procrastinate. We just need to go with our first thought and stick it down. Should see me when I'm not on a live. I procrastinate to all end. Decide to move stuff around 100 times, then stick it back in exactly the same spot I had it the first time, and I should have been done with it. Let's see. No, just... I know. You're probably saying, Melinda, just stick the darn thing down. I'm just going to leave it there for a minute, and I'm going to... Yeah, I think the little one would be too small. Unless I do something daring and put it over here in the white bit. but then it's too fragmented. Nope, it's going to go here. It's going to be stuck in a minute. What I want to do is add a little bit of stamping to just add a little bit more layering. And I think I'm going to grab for my good old script stamp that I use on just about darn everything. And if you've done any of my classes, you'll recognise this little beauty. Which way does it go up? It goes up this way. So I think I just want to add a bit more script stamping. Do I want to bring a bit of that blue into the background? That is the question. Or do I want to keep it subtle? What other inks did I grab? This page has come together nice and quick, actually. It's only nearly 11 o'clock. It's amazing. Some pages come together really quickly and some take absolutely donkeys to make, but I love playing, so... I think I've got enough blue on the page. Let's go pink. Blue's out of here. So I've got really subtle pink, or I use that one for the damasks. I use that one for the stenciling. I think that one's going to be too dark. Let's try it with a lighter colour. We can always go in with a darker colour. Just make sure I've got nothing on my stamp that'll come off to something else. Not going to mount it on a stamping block because I just want a little bit here and there to tie it all together. I don't know, it's something about a script stamp that just finishes a page. I think this script stamp, if you flip through my book, it's nearly on about every page. Let's get this eat, sleep, art, repeat out of here. Oops. So I don't stamp on top of that. And it is quite subtle, and I'm sort of second stamping as well, so I'm not re-inking when I'm doing my second stamp, so it's faded and a bit, well, that was a bit dark, whoops. So it's not as all dark, it's got different tones in it, that's the word. See, Sunday morning's not a good idea for me to get up and do an art journal page. The brain's not going to brain anymore. Oh, that's a bit dark, but that's right. So when I'm stamping, and as you can see, this is all connected. So my napkin's connected to my paint. My stenciling is connected to my napkin. This other stenciling is coming off. So nothing is really floating in midair. So it has a lot of cohesion and a lot of continuity. Is that the word? I don't know what the word is. I don't like things that are floating around. I like things to be connected. Gives it a bit more of a flow. I have a good analogy lately. I tell people to think of a gushing tap, and the water comes from one direction and it all sort of flows out from the water. So this is all sort of flowing. And I like the two bits of white. Very unlike me to leave white on a page. But wonders never cease. Wow. What's Melinda doing? I think we are going to stick our title down. Still not 100% happy with the title, but it's probably not going to look any better any other spot. I'm sort of happy with it. I don't know, it's just seems to be very bottom heavy, but it'd be nice if I could put this little bit over here and this bit over here, but it's not going to work that way. Okay, stop procrastinating. I have things to do today. I can't sit here and procrastinate all day. Hit, sleep, art, repeat. Maybe I do. No. Maybe. Ooh, maybe we're getting to it now. Maybe. I'm just thinking it just looks too heavy over here. I don't know. Okay, no, I like that bit there. It's just... Actually, I don't mind that there. Actually, I think I like it better there because it was just too... I don't know, it felt like there was too much over here. But this is sort of... Because this sort of flows, and then... I'm going to bring this over here a little to hang out onto the white, but onto the... Okay, I like that better. Okay, we're going to go with it. We're going to glue it. Make a decision. It's going to be stuck. And I think this page is nearly done. This has come together very quickly, which is really cool. I'm going to go sleep. So I'm going to have it just touching the napkin. So when I'm gluing quotes and things like this on, I just pick the fattest areas of cardstock. You don't have to get glue everywhere. This is Couture Creations, an Australian company, all-purpose art glue, and it's really good. It's really strong. I use it for chipboard. I use it for lace, everything. And it comes with a small metal tip, but I don't have mine at the moment. I bought 2 of them, and I may have misplaced them in my art stash. But it does have a fine tip on it as well, which is really good for gluing down really intricate stuff. But I tend to buy the smaller bottles, and the bigger bottles are more economical, so I will just keep refilling my small bottle, hence why it's looking rather well loved at the moment. And you don't need a lot of this glue, you just need some little dobs of it. Come on. And it does dry clear, so if you do get seepage, which I usually do because I'm a mess when it comes to gluing stuff down, what I tend to do is just wipe the tip off before I put the cap back on. It stops it from blocking up as much. It still blocks up. I just stick a pin down there. The fine tip does have a pin on it that's supposed to stop it from clogging up, but my pin seems to get stuck. I don't know what I do to it. Okay, let's take this out, as this is distracting. What's that bit of paper in there? That's distracting me from looking at my page. Oh, I'm sorry. I had it off camera a bit. Where's my mouse? Something's popped up on my computer screen. Let's get rid of that pop-up so I can see what I'm doing. I think I'm going to call that done and walk away, except this is looking a little blank. See, this is why I can't stop. I think it just needs a little bit. See, a little bit. Knowing when to stop is hard. And I just threw that on the floor, but that's cool. I think I just need a little bit in here, but subtle. Just because everything else is quite patenty and it's looking a bit blank. I might regret this in a minute. Oh, actually, I do like that now. It's just taken away that bit of blank paint and just added a slight subtle texture into it. Okay, we are stopping now. We are going to walk away. Knowing when to walk away. Have fun learning that, because I still have not learned that in many, many years. Oh, just one more thing. Just something, just a little bit. So I was going to put drips, but I don't think I need drips now. I don't think it needs drips. I think drips would be, maybe I'll use the napkin and accentuate the drips on another page. I think we are going to call that done. I think I'm happy. So thank you very much for joining me this morning. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch me craft. Just remember, we've got our 20% off sale, all stock, until the 30th of November, the end of the week. So next Sunday. And everything is on sale on the website except for 2 things. Our lovely advent calendars. I do have a couple of those left. We are getting low on them. I only made a certain amount this year. And I've been in advent calendar hell the last couple of weeks packaging them all up. We'll see if we do it again next year. We probably will, because it's lots of fun. And gift vouchers are not included. And the discount is automatic. And the discount is on all our new stuff too, which is really cool. Thank you very much for watching. And I will say goodbye for now. I will take a photo of this and put it up on the Facebook page, because sometimes it's really hard to see details in the videos. I have trouble with that, so I'm sure other people do as well. And then I will link all the products I've used. Let me know what you think on my page when I pop the photo up. Bye for now. See if we can get this video stopped. Facebook's being interesting lately. Let's just grab my mouse pad back in so I can use my mouse. Oh, there we go. I didn't hit the button hard enough.